All right, welcome back to the KFYR Plus News Desk. And as the 2026 Winter Olympics take center ice, we're helping viewers better understand what to watch for in the figure skating, I guess, from standout athletes to the jumps, the spins, and the scoring that shape every performance. Today, we're joined by Becky Gallion, Synchro Director and Primary Advance Coach with the Bismarck Figure Skating Club. Becky, thank you so much for helping me to do this today.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to help.
So, major names that viewers should know in these Olympics. Of course, it's been underway, and I know that there's been some major names out there. Who should we be watching for?
Well, if the men are coming up here, the tomorrow is their free skate. So of course we're watching our USA guy, the quad, the quad god himself, Ilya Malinin, who's sitting in first after the short. So that is exciting. Yuma is probably his toughest competition from Japan, and he is sitting in second place, just a few points behind. So he's really going to need to skate well to stay ahead of him. In the team event, Yuma did beat him in the short. So it's nice that we're ahead going into the long program tomorrow. Today is the ice dance, free dance. Chalk and Bates are from the US. They're currently the world champions, but currently they sit in second place behind France. But it's like within less than half a point. So it's going to be really tight going into the free dance today to see if we can hopefully get back on top after the free.
Is there one person, one skater, and I got one in mind. His parents passed away, perished a year ago in the plane crash. Is he kind
Yeah.
of the one that the whole country is pulling for?
Yeah. I was lucky enough to be at nationals this past year in St. Louis a few weeks ago where he
Hmm.
skated and qualified for the Olympics. And when he got done with his both his short and long, there was not a dry eye in that rink. Everyone was crying, everyone was standing, everyone wants this for him, for his parents' legacy. They were Olympians. So yeah, Maxime, he did very well in the short. He's sitting in, I believe it's 14th place after the short. And then our other US man, Andrew Torgachev, is in eighth place. So very strong representation because they're not always at this, haven't been quite at this level of skating quite yet as Ilya has been the last few years. So he's
Okay.
doing great. He had a picture of his parents in the kiss and cry. It was amazing.
Yeah, Team USA returns some strong ice dancers as well, right? From what my
Mhm.
reading says, Madison Chalk and Evan Bates. What makes them so consistently competitive, Becky?
They've just been together for such a long time. They're just innate. They're just so natural together. They're married. They've been skating together 15 years or something. They're just perfection, literally on ice. You can just tell watching them how comfortable they are. They're fast. They're smooth. They have amazing tricks. They just have it all. They're the total package.
How important is experience when performing on the Olympic stage? Now, does it really affect your nerves, or is it more consistency?
I think it does. I think some people can handle it better than others, but I think just having that experience, this is their fourth Olympics together. This is their fourth
Hmm.
one. They're going for their first individual medal, and this is Evan's fifth one because he was with another partner before Madison. But I think that helps them so much. That's why they skate with so much confidence out there because they're just comfortable. They've had that pressure. They're three-time world champs. They know what's expected of them and they know how to perform.
Okay, can you explain the difference between singles? I think we kind of know that. Pairs, right? We know that, but ice dance. So when you go to teams, I know singles, you're skating for yourself. Pairs, as Evan and Madison. But when you get to ice dance and then teams, what is that all about? How do you differentiate?
So actually, Madison and Evan are the ice dancers, and then we have the pairs are the ones that do the lifts, full lifts above their head. They do the throw jumps. They do side. They also have to be very strong single skaters because they have to do the side by side triples and double axels. They do the pair spins and side by side spins, death spirals, and then the ice dancing is more of they do have lifts, but they can only go so high above their head. They have more rotational lifts where they're spinning faster. They have the twizzles, footwork sequence, things like that. Then you have the team event where we basically take the best of each team of each discipline. So we took our top men, our top ladies, top ice dance, top pairs, and then compete against the other countries, which Team USA won gold the last 2 years now, which is exciting. The last two Olympic cycles.
Okay. So, what is okay? That kind of answered that next question for me. And for beginners like myself, what are the key jumps that we need to watch out for, like the quadruple axel or the newly legal, I'm getting this now, Olympic backflip? Is that something that's new?
Yeah, that's new. I mean, we've been doing them for years. At shows. The top skaters have been doing them at years at shows and things like that. And Surya Bonley did one in the Olympics years and years ago. But yeah, it's exciting that they're incorporating. You see cartwheels now, aerials, backflips. One of the ice dance teams does like a headstand and does some kind of break dancing on the ice. There's a lot of more slides and cool moves like that. It's really exciting, all the different things that people are doing with it. But yeah, backflips are a new thing. Biggest thing is the quad axle, which only Ilya is doing right now from the US. But just the quads in general are really neat. And then Amber Glenn is doing the triple axle representing the US for women. So she'll be doing the triple axle in her long program here and her short program, actually, when she gets to do her singles in a few days here.
I'm guessing an axle means a revolution, quadruple means, so that's four revolutions. Is that what it means?
Yeah. So there's all different jumps. There's the axle, the flip, Lutz, loop, Salchow, toe loop. And what makes the quad axle unique is it's 4.5 revolutions, whereas the rest of the quads are only 4 revolutions. So it's that extra half. Same thing with like the triple axle, it's 3.5 revolutions, whereas the triple flip, triple Salchow are only 3 revolutions.
Sow cow. We've heard
And that
that
makes them
before. What
unique.
is okay? Sow cow. What is a sow cow?
That's just a type of jump.
Okay.
They vary by how they take off, by edge, toe pick. Some take off and land on the same leg. Some you change in the air and you land on a different leg than you take off on. So
When skaters, Becky, check their landing or have a small wobble, how much does that impact their score?
checking landing is good. That means that they've had a nice strong landing. When they wobble or they step out of it or they three turn out of it, then that will affect their grade of execution. So a nice strong landing where there's not a hair out of place, that could get a +4 or +5 at the highest you can get. When you turn out or you kind of step or you almost fall, or you have, like you say, a wobble, then you, depending on how bad it is, it can get a -1, a -2, it could be a 0. That's up to the judge to decide how unsteady was that landing. Were they really crooked in the air? Did they land really? If they fall, it's generally a -4, -5. So the highest they can go is a +5 for each element, and the lowest is a -5.
For pairs in ice dance, what makes the great chemistry or partnership on the ice, and how does that translate into scoring?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you can really see how, again, how comfortable they are with each other. And one of the things you can really tell is their speed and flow across the ice. The top teams will really fly, like just fly. And some that are still maybe not comfortable in their partnership will go a little bit slower into the throw jumps, a little bit slower into the lifts. You can just definitely see that connection. They'll be able to also correct things throughout the program that maybe not even you don't even see in the naked eye, because they know
Yeah.
how to keep their wits about them, so to say. So, yeah, a great partnership. You can really see it on and off the ice. Their trust, and most of these teams at this level, they have a good partnership. They have figured out a way to make that work, and they have that chemistry.
Scoring system can seem a bit complicated. How does the current international judging system work in simple terms, if you would please? Falls seem obvious, but what other deductions do judges out there look for?
Well, some of the things that the tech panel will look for is, say, a jump is under rotated. Maybe you won't be able to see that as much in like quick speed, but when they're doing it, but when they slow it down, you can see that maybe the blade touches before it's all the way around and they kind of turn out of it. As Tara Lipinski always says, it's like they're missing that last half of the pie or that little quarter of the pie that's maybe out. They kind of turn on their blade to finish the jump instead of finishing it in the air. That will have deductions that maybe you'll be like, well, that looked good to me, but that's something they're looking for. And then another thing is maybe they don't hold their spin positions as long as they should have. They maybe only get 5 revolutions and they're supposed to get 7 in order to get it counted. That can cause
Hmm.
for some level deductions. Same thing with when they're doing like their step sequences. If they're not hitting the correct turns and edges, that can be cause for deduction. And then just in general, their overall skating skills. Are they down in the ice? Do they have good speed and flow? Is there really toe pick scratchy sounding? Are they landing all their jumps really without any flow coming out of them? Are their spins slow? Things like that they're looking for, as well as like their expression. Are they comfortable in their music? Are they emoting what they're trying to say? All of those things kind of have an effect on what the judges do as far as their scoring.
Uh, I was going to ask, do the skaters put in the routines that they're going to do so the judges know exactly what to look for?
They do. They will put in, not so much the judges, but the tech panel. They'll put in a sheet that will list all of their elements that they're attempting. It'll list all of their elements and spins that they're attempting, and then that way they know kind of what to look for the tech panel as it's coming and what they're doing. And then the judges, as that element is completed, they are able to go in and mark what they think of it, whether it's a +2, a -2, based on how they performed that element.
And so, what's the difference between a technical element score and a program component score, and how do they shape a skater's final result?
Very much so. So they're basically two different scores. Like you could be, for the tech, you could be in second place because you rotated all your jumps, whatever. But then the judges might feel like you rotated, but you didn't land cleanly. You did a spin, but it wasn't the best positions. So they're controlling that quality of that element. The
Hmm.
tech three people that are deciding, they're saying, okay, that quad was rotated. They're not saying anything about, well, he did kind of step out of it, but it was rotated. So they're giving you the points for it, but then the judges on the other side are saying, well, he stepped out. So then it's a -1. So that's like sometimes you can be really high in tech and you can get all your calls, but maybe the quality of the elements wasn't very good. And you could be in like fifth place as far as the judges' score goes. So that's where you kind of then you get that in between of you end up maybe third or fourth, if that makes sense. And then the judges also give the mark of like the choreography, the composition, the skating skills, the presentation. They give that score as well.
How important is the music to the dancers or the overall performance itself?
Well, I think that's really important. I think most skaters at this point are really involved in that process, though. They help with their coaches decide what they're comfortable skating to and with. Right now, there's a lot of info out there about licensing things. It's kind of been a struggle sometimes to get certain music licensed from the artists and
Hmm.
everything to be used. Some artists are really great, and some have been a little don't want their music maybe used for skating or in the Olympics, so they're not willing to release the rights to the music. So that is also kind of part of it too, is finding the music, but also making sure it's allowed legally to be used on broadcasts.
I want to go back to scoring for just a second, Becky. There's no longer a perfect
Mhm.
6.0, is that correct? So, what's considered a good score?
Right. Well, there is a 10. You can get a 10 in your program components from the judges, and you can get a +5 on elements. So there could very well be a jump that gets the full amount, and then all the judges could say it was perfect and give it a +5, and you've just scored a perfect for that jump. Kind of like in gymnastics, how if you do a vault, and it would be a perfect 10, kind of like that jump then
Hmm.
is considered perfect. And then there's 9 judges, and so then they can decide. Like I noticed on Maddie and at Chalk and Bates's ice dance, one of the judges had given them a +10 for their presentation. So it is possible to get tens, but it's kind of near impossible to get a perfect score because then there's going to be the judges that give a 9.25 and a 9.5, and so
Yeah. Is the judging, since there's so many judges, do they take the highest and lowest and throw them both out?
yep, yep, and then average the
Okay.
rest. Yep, for every
Uh,
element and for the composition.
from your coaching experience, Becky, what separates Olympic level skating from other levels? Athletically, artistically, mentally? What is it separates them?
It's everything. Yeah, it's all those things. Like you got to be able to do the big tricks, but you also have to be able to do them under pressure. I think that's one way that our US people right now are really like shining. In the past several years it's been difficult, but these guys are really able to perform under pressure when it counts, and that's a big thing, that mental game. I know we've had a few really overcome some big things. We had Alyssa Liu that came back from retirement, and she's just fun and having fun and just so relaxed. Watching her compete at nationals, she just was laughing, waving, stroking laps, and then she went out there and skated a perfect program. Like she has a whole nother mental way of going about her skating compared to a few years ago,
Hmm.
and it's working for her amazingly.
What excuse me, what advice do you have for those viewers watching figure skating for the first time during this Winter Olympics?
I think the biggest advice I could take is, I mean, I really love how they're really attacking the scoring and showing you how each element they're showing up in the corner, like, and it helps you, I think, to learn and follow along really well if you don't know anything about skating.
Hmm.
To show like, okay, that element was this level, but it's getting this many points, and you can really see like, okay, yeah, that was a nice element. I could see that the judges are rewarding it as such. um I think that's fun. I think it's just I mean, support these athletes. They work hard and it's
Yeah.
fun to see them out there like really having a good time and supporting each other. So
Is this mandatory watching for your athletes?
yes, well, they know. I actually, it's what really is hard right now is I'm on the ice when these events are happening. So I have my
Yeah.
phone right there, and then we will pull it out and we will watch sometimes, or I will take a break and have a break and go watch because it's really hard to. I don't want to. It's nice to watch it later on the broadcast, but you can't help but find out what happens ahead of time. So yeah, my girls are vested. And my boy skater too. They are watching every night. They're coming to skating. They're talking about it. It's really exciting. It's really fun to see them so into it. So and it's fun to see our U.S. people, our U.S. skaters, just doing so well.
Yeah, it is a pretty special time of year. How can young skaters inspired by the Olympics get started with you, Becky?
Well, we do actually, we're doing an Olympic ice show this year, kind of in honor of this whole Olympics, and that's in March. And then after March, we do start our new spring session of Learn to Skate. It's on BismarckFigureSkatingClub.com. We are, however, also on February 21st at VFW from 10 to 11 a.m. It'll be coming out soon. We're having a whole Olympic party to celebrate the U.S. team in the Olympics. Anyone can come and skate with us. We'll be doing drawings for free skating lessons, a free session of skating. We're going to have some merchandise. We're going to have fun music playing and Olympic donuts. And yeah, we're going to just celebrate the US team and how amazing they are, and how proud we are of them. So yeah, they can come and skate with us and try it out and then see if they want to sign up for our next spring session.
And that's the Saturday, 10 to 11?
On February 21st from
February
10 to 11
21st.
a.m.
Okay.
at, yep,
Next.
at VFW. Yep.
Gotcha. Becky Gallion, Synchro Director, Primary Advance Coach with the Bismarck Figure Skating Club. Thank you so much for helping us better understand, figure skating during this Olympic time and go USA.
Yeah. Go USA. We got some big ones coming up. So hopefully we can do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Becky. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
All right, quick break now at the news desk. We'll be right back here to KFYR Plus.